Hi, Dr. Baumholtz, Baumholtz Plastic Surgery. What are the differences between putting an implant above and below the muscle practically? So here are some simple answers. Okay, if we're under the muscle, we have some advantages versus above the muscle. And they are, number one, we will soften the transition from the chest wall to the breast implant combination. We'll smooth that transition. We will conceal the edge of the implant underneath that extra layer of tissue. All implants have the ability to ripple at some degree, and that extra layer of tissue will help diminish or mitigate that risk of visibility. And the data tells us that under the muscle versus above the muscle will lower the risk of capsular contracture. Not take it all the way away, but lower it. So why be above the muscle? Well, if someone wants that more artificial look, for example, we can be above the muscle. It is a shorter recovery time because we're not dealing with a large muscle. We can expand the skin out a little more if we have someone that's on the fence between a lift versus no lift. But again, it's going to be a more dramatic transition from chest wall to implant depending on the thickness of your tissue. Now, some would argue based on the thickness of your tissue, we can choose to be above or below, and that's a theoretical conversation that we can have in more detail in person, but those are the broad brushstrokes of how we decide to go above or below. One of the things that I do talk to my patients about, especially the younger ones, is at some point in your young life, we're going to end up doing something with these implants again. And it's my opinion that if an implant starts out under the muscle in a younger person who didn't need a lift, and now we're meeting you again a little bit later in life, and now we're talking about a lift and maybe an implant exchange and maybe a capsule issue, it's a little safer in terms of blood supply to that nipple area if that implant is under the muscle, in my opinion. Well, I hope that answers some of your questions. If you'd like to know more about where and why we place implants and you're considering a breast augmentation or an augmentation with a lift, come and see me at Baumholtz Plastic Surgery. Thanks so much.